First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while lunch is truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of today's lesson is Watchman Report, Anti-Chrstian Bias Bill. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners learn. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by Yahoo News. And it reads, it said Trump announces task force to eradicate anti-Chrstian bias. So let's get a little bit of what this means. So I'm going to read it off my other phone. It says, here's an unlawful and improper conduct, policies or practice that target Christians. Let's get a little bit more. It says here, it said treating individuals differently because of their religious belief and practice, and or their request for accommodations of their religious belief and practice. So pretty much, this is showing favoritism to one side. And one thing about it, we already know this is going to cause the persecution of the saints. First, they hated Yahweh by Shema Shai, and also they shall hate you. And so we already know that we're coming upon that time. Also, we know that family of the word is fast approach. So all of a sudden now Trump announcing task force to eradicate. So when you go in that word eradicate, mean to get rid of something. So we already knowing that, they're going to come down, upon the men of the Lord very soon. So, also this is going to bring forth family of the word. These things right here, dealing with your, they'll label you as a hate group. Also, demonization, or to demonize you, make you like what they call the terrorist or something, that you're teaching, against their way of doing things. And one thing about it, we already knowing that a lot of these, like Trump and all these make America great again supporters and all that, we knowing that they do not follow Yahweh by Shema Shai. They're not believers, and they're only what, deceivers. And one thing about it, but the Lord is going to expose them. All of a sudden now, this man is constantly putting all sorts of unrighteous degrees into place, and we already know that this is going to cause what? Persecution. Also, they already put another bill in place several months back, anti-Semitism bill. So dealing with protecting the so-called, the ish peoples over there in Israel. So a lot of these things they're constantly putting in place. We already knowing right now what all this is going to lead to. And one thing about it, we already know that a lot of us are going to be martyrs for Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. But the Lord already said, if the world hated him first, and they also shall hate you for what? His name's sake. So now let's get a little bit of this order. Then I have a few little quick videos. It said President Trump announces plans Thursday to establish a task force and a presidential commission to protect Christians from religion discrimination. Wow. Said Trump addressed the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, where he laid out multiple steps he planned to take to address what he describes as attacks on religious liberty and on Christians in particular. So we already know it right here. So it's going to come a time whereby you're going to be sought after. You're going to be, placed in these so-called FEMA camps, these facilities. And a lot of people right now, are constantly trying to, acting like and walking like that they are men of the Lord. But when that time of trouble come, a lot of these people that's, in these camps right as we speak, what I'm saying? And one day we have what you call hirelings among us. And one thing about it, when all this pressure be applied, which in fact is Jacob trouble, we're getting ready to find out whose side that you are on. Are you faking the funk We're getting ready to find out. So one thing about a lot of people, are going to turn sides. They're going to, which in fact they're not never was a part of the elect anyway. So we're getting ready to find out. They're going to deny a lot of this. They're going to sugarcoat a lot of things. And one thing about the men of the Lord, we're not afraid of death. The Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. And one thing about we're going to stand tall for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. That's why I said, and I think it's in Psalms 94, if not mistaken, who will stand up against the workers of iniquity. Those are the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we already knowing that Trump, he's not a believer of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Not none of these damn heathens. You know what I'm saying? They're, they're what do they have to do with the Lord's statutes? Nothing. Because, they're going to cast them behind them. The Lord is not dealing with them. The Lord said, you only have I known. You don't give a damn about these other nations, these heathen nations. Now, this is a bunch of bullshit. And when you go into that word bias, that goes into prejudice, something, dislike. So we already know who they'll get ready to come up against. Men of the Lord is going to be, labeled as a hate group, teaching hate speech. Once again, demonized. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be looked at as already as a terrorist group. And we already knowing that. It's gonna be great persecution of the saints. And that about, a lot of us once again will be martyrs for this truth. But the Lord said, be thy faithful. Until death, the Lord shall give you a crown of life. So that's all we got to do is constantly persevere, constantly keep believing. So let's get a little bit of this news video.
Trump announced a new task force and a presidential commission. The move aimed to protect Christians from religious discrimination will be led by Attorney General Pam Bondi. Joining me now is the Hill's national political reporter, Kate Martell. Kate, thank you so much for joining us. Trump made the announcement at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington on Thursday. Let's just take a listen at what he had to say.
The task force will work to fully prosecute anti-Christian violence and vandalism in our society and to move heaven and earth to defend the rights of Christians and religious believers nationwide.
So, Kate, what religious liberties does the president think are under attack here, and what power does Attorney General Pam Bondi here in regard to this?
Well, Julia, Attorney General Pam Bondi does have a lot of power in carrying out and then justifying in legal lawsuits over the president's agenda. Now, the legal, issues that the president is talking about in these religious liberty issues are namely the anti-abortion movement. That, they are mentioning a lot of issues, but specifically the anti-abortion movement is something where that was one of President Trump's first executive actions during his first week in office. There were nearly 24 anti-abortion activists who were convicted of blockading access to an abortion clinic. He pardoned those people, and this is something that they are bringing.
So, we're seeing right now, I got a little clip of that, but I have more videos to bring it up. So we already knowing right now what they're constantly putting into place. We already knowing that they're what this is going to lead to. Right now, the men of the Lord is in the highways and the byways, constantly making these video pistols, but we knowing that it's going to have an expiration date on. So now, let's get a quick precept. Let's go here to, before we start today's video, I have some videos to bring it out with a little more edification. But let's start here first, Psalm chapter 50 and let's start at verse 16. And it reads that, but unto the wicked, the Almighty says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? And one thing about it, the Lord, he's cold-blooded. So one thing about what in the hell do these damn wicked devils have to do with the Lord's, his statutes and also his covenant in their mouth? The Lord is not dealing with them. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, but the Almighty says to the wicked, said, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant. So one thing about that, we already know that this red devil DJ Donald Trump, he don't want to have anything to do with Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We already knowing that these red devil, they hate us. And one thing about it, they get ready to make their move. They get ready to fill their belly. So we're not ignorant of Satan's device. And also it was rumors that he's getting ready to start a faith office, another office in his administration, is going to be headed up by that wicked, so-called Pastor Paula White. So which in fact we already know a woman was not called the priest. So that right there, what in the hell they got to do with the Lord's decrees, his covenant, his wisdom and knowledge, one thing about what in the hell they got to do with the Bible, period. So let's read this once again. Psalm chapter 50 and verse 16 said, but unto the wicked, said God says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, are that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth. That's reading the NLT. Said, but the Almighty says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? Why bother? One thing about it, you are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, you're not giving a damn about the Lord's, his statutes, his covenant, and one thing about it's not for you. Leave it alone. Verse 7, it said, seeing thou hatest instruction and casted my words behind thee. So that's exactly what they're doing. That's reading in NLT. It said, for you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. That's exactly what these damn heathens are doing. Also, these wicked tutor, they got hell to pay. And these are not our words. These are the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, the one that sent us. We already knowing that the Lord is going to bring forth the famine of the word. We're not giving a damn what this man is talking about, this task for these bills, these unrighteous decrees. So let's get this one here. Let's go here to Isaiah chapter 10. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, said, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So one thing about it, though, we already know that they constantly, these unfair laws, these unrighteous decrees, these things that they're constantly putting into place, favoritism to lean more their way, their belief, what they're trying to bring forth, their agenda. And we already know they're getting ready to target the people of the Lord, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We already know that this red devil, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. It's already started with the northern kingdom, and also it's getting ready to start with the southern kingdom very soon. It's called Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. It is fast approach. This devil is constantly bringing forth all these different unrighteous decrees. All the decree, when you go into a decree, it goes into a law or a bill or some type of mandate. So we already know that these things are fast approach. Every day this man is signing away all sorts of executive orders. So now let's go here back to the videos. Let's go here further. Let's look up this word. Let's look up this word. Let's go into this word eradicate right quick. I screenshot it. I just want to go into the meaning and say we're going to eradicate, it's an anti-Christian bias. So it says here, eradicate, it says destroy completely. It said put an end to. So it says, let's get a little examples. It said get rid of, eliminate, do away with, remove, suppress, exterminate, destroy, annihilate. So we seeing right here what is going. So this is basically to eradicate, the one that speak against their agenda, their plan. And who are that? Those are the true men of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the prophets. Also, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we seeing right here, that's what they want to do, is get rid of the Bible, get rid of the men of the Lord, but they're in for a rude awakening. So I look up this word. It's another word I want to look up right quick too. I screenshotted it too, bias, so we can get a little bit more understanding. They always try to use word, but we're not ignorant of Satan's device. Bias. It said prejudice in favor or against one thing, person or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. So that's exactly thinking, you know, so that's, you know, anything that they deem to be unfair, they deem to be they dislike, you know what I'm saying, someone showing some type of hate against their religion. You know what I'm saying? One thing about, we don't deal with religion. No, we know that religion is man-made. You know what I'm saying? And also we know who are the true Christians. You know, they're not Christians. They are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And also the Lord will not show any type of partiality, which in fact no favoritism. And one thing about it, the Lord said there is no respect of person. And one thing about, either you're going to do the will of Yahweh, if you're a part of the election. If not, you know, you're a part of the world and you're going to be totally destroyed. And all talking about anti-Christian bias. And you already know that there are mented Hamasiaks. So one thing about it, you know, we seeing right now that we're very close to the famine of the world. So now let's go here let's get these videos right quick. I got a few videos, 2 videos. Then after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
Task force, brand new, to eradicate anti-Christian bias. The mission of this task force will be to immediately halt all forms of anti-Christian targeting and discrimination within the federal government, including at the DOJ, which was absolutely terrible, the IRS, the FBI, terrible, and other agencies. In addition, the task force will work to fully prosecute anti-Christian violence and vandalism in our society and to move heaven and earth to defend the rights of Christians and religious believers nationwide. This week, I'm also creating the White House Faith Office, led by Pastor Paula White, who is so amazing. While I'm in the White House, we will protect Christians in our schools, in our military, in our government, in our workplaces, hospitals, and in our public squares. And we will bring our country back together as one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey loves, Trump Task Force. Welcome to Have You Heard, the podcast where we explore the latest stories going on in the world. I'm your host, Bree, and today we're diving into a topic that is timely as it is complex, the intersection of faith, politics, and power. Earlier today, President Trump announced the creation of a task force aimed at eradicating anti-Christian bias. Now, religious freedom is a cornerstone of American democracy, but when the government starts picking sides in matters of faith, it raises some serious questions. What does this mean for religious liberty? What are the historical parallels we should be aware of? And why should everyone, regardless of their faith, be paying attention right now? Let's break it all down. What did Trump announce? First, let's get the facts on the table. At today's National Prayer Breakfast, President Trump unveiled a new task force and commission designed to protect Christians from what he calls anti-Christian bias. Leading this effort are 2 high-profile figures, Pam Bondi, the former Florida Attorney General, and Paula White, a prominent televangelist and longtime spiritual advisor to President Trump. In his speech, Trump framed religious liberty as a battle where Christians are under attack by political opponents. He accused the Biden administration of targeting Christians while simultaneously launching initiatives to combat anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. But here's the thing, religious liberty is supposed to be a universal principle, not a zero-sum game. So what does it mean for the government to single out one religion for protection? And how does this fit into the broader political landscape? The parallels. When governments defend a specific religion, to understand potential risks of this move, let's take a step back and look at history, because history has a lot to teach us what happens when the government takes sides in matters of faith. First, consider the Spanish Inquisition, which began in 1478. The Catholic Church and the Spanish monarchy joined forces to root out heresy, targeting Jews, Muslims, and even Christians who didn't conform to their doctrine. It was a brutal era of persecution, all in the name of defending one true faith. Then there's Nazi Germany in the 1930s. Hitler aligned with certain Christian factions while demonizing others, using religious rhetoric to justify his regime's atrocities. Religion became a tool for consolidating power and silencing dissent. Closer home, think about McCarthyism in the 1950s. The U.S. government investigated and blacklisted individuals accused of being un-American, often conflating religious identity with political loyalty. It was time of fear, suspicion, and overreach. And today, look at countries like Russia and Hungary, where government-backed religious initiatives are often used to suppress political opponents under the guise of protecting traditional values. The pattern is clear. When governments take sides in religion, it rarely ends well for those outside the chosen group. Why should this concern everybody? Now you might be thinking, I'm not Christian, why should I care about this? Here's why. The First Amendment exists to protect religious liberty for everyone, not just one faith. It's a safeguard against government interference in matters of belief. But what happens when the government starts defending what counts as anti-Christian bias? Who gets to decide? And what stops future administrations from applying this model to other faiths or using it to suppress dissent, secularism, or religious minorities? The term anti-Christian bias is vague and subjective, which makes it ripe for abuse here. It can be weaponized to silence critics, justify overreach, or even marginalize those who don't fit a particular religious or political mode. And let's not ignore the broader.
So we seeing right there that, this right here going to bring forth a lot of persecution. So we already knowing right now that, that it's very clear that what they're trying to really to root out, they're trying to root out the truth, we already knowing that this gospel has went into the gates of the noble. So now all of a sudden they putting these different bills and laws in place, if you were speaking the wrong thing or saying something against their policy or their way of doing things, put it like that once again, they're going to come after you. So we already been warning you about that left and right. So now let's start here. So we seeing where this is going, so let's go here. Let's start here first. Let's start here in Galatians. Let's go here to Galatians chapter. No, let's go here to, let's see where I want to go first. Just rolling in the spirit. Let's go here to 2 Timothy. Let's go here to 2 Timothy, because the Lord don't give us the fear, you know what I'm saying? The not speaking out. We are bold as lions. A lot of people right now, when they start coming, getting tight in the grip, we getting ready to find out. A lot of people, they was was what you call like full of shit, you know what I'm saying? So we getting ready to find out. 2 Timothy chapter, Salaki for all the rambling, 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. Let's get this right quick. Let's run them scriptures. Let's get this one here highlighted right quick. And it reads, it says, for the Almighty has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So one thing about it, we don't have a spirit of fear, what I'm saying? We're not, not timid, what I'm saying? And either by we totally trust and believe in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. We're gonna speak the word. We're not gonna sugarcoat anything, regardless whether we, whether we be put to death or not, what I'm saying? We're gonna constantly do it will always to the finish line. So a lot of people, are speaking, to their liking, constantly speaking these I call it, what I'm saying, false prophets, people that being deceived, a lot of different things, to fit their narrative. What I'm saying? One thing about it, we already know that these devils, they don't have anything to do with the Lord's word. What I'm saying? We knowing that we're here. Let's read it in NLT. It said, for the Almighty has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity. He said, but of power, love, and self-discipline. That's right. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of time. So let's go to this one here. Let's go to Galatians now. Let's go to Galatians chapter 1. Galatians chapter 1 and verse 9. Let's get this one right quick. Just rolling in the spirit. Let's start here. We might read down a couple of verses here, make a point, and we're going to close out. Let's see here. It says, as we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be a curse. So one thing about it, a lot of these they coming with another, a gospel, another a belief or religion. We're not dealing with any of that. And so one thing about it, we're constantly just reading out of the Bible the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, the one that sent us. And one thing about it, the word is plain. So the Lord said, make it plain. And one thing about it is that, we know that a lot of people are going to be deceived. A lot of people are going to, basically, they're in that time of trouble, they're going to be on the other side and they're going to be totally destroyed. So, we're not coming in no anti-Hamashiach. We are in the Hamashiach, you know what I'm saying, of the Hamashiach, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Let's read this once again. It says, as we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. Verse 10 said, for do I now persuade men or the Almighty, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua or the Hamashiach. So who are we pleasing? You know what I'm saying? We're pleasing men. We're trying to get along. And the follow the flow, go with the flow. Oh no, we're following Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So one thing about it is true. You're gonna be disliked. You're gonna be hated, and also you will be even killed. So we're gonna constantly follow him all the way to the finish line. The Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. We're not of this world, that is about it, because the world hated you, they gonna hate, because the world hated him, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, they also shall hate you, Shalakia. So one thing about it, let's read in NLT. It said, obviously, so I'm not trying to win the approval of people. That's exactly what the men of Lord. We're not trying to win the approval of people. Said, but of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. It says, if it's pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Hamashiach's servant. That's exactly right. So one thing about it, if you're of this world, you're not of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And the one thing about it, the Lord already said, the wisdom of this world is foolishness to him. So you're not seeking the Lord, you're constantly seeking death. And not about the ways of this world is only going to lead to death. So let's get this one right quick. Let's go here to 1 John. Let's go here to 1 John. 1 John, Salaki by moving too slow. I'm always like that with the blue letter. 1 John chapter 2. And let's drop down to verse 15. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord said. Love not the world, neither the things in it, because it's going to only lead to your death. The Lord is not dealing with the world. You know what I'm saying? It's only dealing with that 1/3 remnant. When you go to that world, going to Archimedes, the Lord's not dealing with that world. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is only dealing with the world that he's dealing with. We put it like that way. He's dealing with that cosmos, the orderly arrangement, which in fact is Israel, So that's who the world that the Lord is dealing with. So we're at the end of an age or an eon, that's also, that goes into world too. So we're at the end of this man's world, which in fact is Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So the world that the Lord is dealing with is Israel, the cosmos, the orderly arrangement, So that's to get a little bit more clarity on that. But the world right now, the entire world, the Lord is not there arguing. The Lord is not dealing with, the heathens. The Lord really, he's not dealing with the 2/3 right now. Only that 1/3 remnant. So like it for rambling. So 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15 said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Said, if any man love the world, said the love of the Father is not in him. Verse 16 said, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. So that's exactly, that what we're seeing in that bill, that's of the world. We don't have anything to do with that. We already know that this, is targeting, it's getting ready to target the men of the Lord, starting with the prophet and also the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. The devil will cast some of you into prison. be thy faithful until death. The Lord will give you what? A crown of life. We cannot wait. Let's go here. Verse 17 says, and the world passes away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua abideth forever. So one thing about it, we seeing that this world is passing away. This age, this eon is constantly passing away. Esau is the end of this earth age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we right there in that transition of power, and we don't give a damn what this man tried to bring. We already know the Lord is getting ready to take him out of the way. So now let's go here to our last and final script. Let's close out here. Matthew chapter 8. We'll close out here. Matthew chapter 8. So one thing about it, we already know that we fast approaching the persecution of the word. So no, let's get one more before we close out. Let's go here to John. Let's go here to St. John's chapter 15, because they hate. They hate him that rebukes at the gate. First they hated our Lord and Savior, and they also gonna hate you. If you're of the Hamashiach, you shall suffer what? Persecution. If you trying to live godly, you're gonna suffer persecution. Let's go here. As the Lord suffered, you also shall suffer. Pick up the cross and follow who? Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. We must endure all the way to the finish line through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Let's go into 1 John 15. Let's see here. No, let's start up here. I want to drop down. Let's get to them right here. This 18. St. John chapter 15, Salaki, and verse 18 said, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So one thing about the Lord, that's plain and simple right there. They hated the Lord first because what? Of his words. And not about who is carrying the Lord's word as we speak, the prophet. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, these are not our words. These are the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. The Lord said, first they hated me, and they also shall hate you. And one thing about it, we love it. You know what I'm saying? We know that we almost at the end of this thing. Verse 19 said, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. Verse 20 said, remember the word that I said unto you. Said the servant is not greater than his Lord. Said if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. So if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So you're seeing right here, man, that we are very close to this time. Great persecution, great death and destruction. Also the family of the world. Let's get this last verse right here. It said, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. That's plain and simple. So let's get one more and we'll close out. Let's go here to Matthew chapter 8. Matthew chapter 8 and verse 38. Matthew chapter 8 and verse 38. Let's get this one right quick and we will close out. 30, not 38, Salakia. 30. Oh, man. It got to be around. Let me see which one it is. I said 38. It ain't got about 34 verses. It's got to be 30. Let's see. Kind of the Lord let it come back to me. It's Matthew 8 and 30. Let's see. Let's see here. One moment. See, can I find it right quick? Oh, man. Let's see. Let's see, can I find it right quick? One moment. We get ready to close out. See, can I find it? If I can't find it, we'll go to another one. Let's see here. One moment. Let's see. I don't know. It's escaped me for right now. So let's go to our last and final script. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. We'll close out here. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. And it reads, Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So one thing about it, we already knowing that, Lord said, be thy faithful. So we already knowing that they'll get ready to come. They get ready to bring forth, this this new way of doing things. But when they put their hands on the elect, the Lord's going to lift up that standard against them. So we already know He shall cast some of you into prison, these FEMA camps, these facilities for speaking the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. They're going to label us as what? Hate group, a hate speech, or say, or demonize us, to get us put in a position where where we'll be put to death. So a lot of our people, are still, are trying to hide under banner, but the Lord already know who love Him, who is going to do His will each and every day, which in fact are the men of the Lord, the prophets, the ones in the highways and byways making these video pistols, and also the true believer, that great multitude that the Lord is returning for, the house of David. And one thing about it, we already know that we are very close, that this man is talking about, this anti-Christian bias bill. We already know that this is getting ready to target the saints of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushua. We shall suffer persecution, but in the end, the Lord said, He will give us a crown of life, immortality, rulership, dominion. So we know that slavery is coming back in a big way. The Lord said, hold fast what you have. The Lord said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is Watchman Report, Anti-Chrstian Bias Bill. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.